everyone, and welcome to From Piece to Piece, the Piece by Piece podcast. I am your host, Nayobé Reemnet, also known as Miss Voluptuous Suriname 2025, and I'm also the founder of Piece by Piece, a platform that was created to help young people explore their identity and use their voice to make real impact. In each episode, I speak with inspiring changemakers who are turning their puzzle pieces, meaning their stories, their values, and their experiences, into action. Today's episode brings us into the world of musical theater, which is one that I'm all too familiar with and a big fan of, honestly. I am joined by two incredible guests from Musical to Fight Cancer, an annual benefit show that's organized and performed by young people, mainly students from the NJMT, the Nationaal Youth Musical Theater here in Amsterdam. And all proceeds of their show go to cancer research, which we will hear more about in a bit. I'm joined by Ashley, the lead choreographer of this year's show, and Sarah, who was performing as an actress in this show. So I'm gonna invite them right now and see if they're already here.
Camera, there we are.
Yes.
Huh?
How are you?
Good, how are you? And there's Sarah.
There's Sarah. Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Amazing. I'm so happy that everything went well because I heard that it's your first time on a live stream.
I've
Right.
never done this before.
No.
Well, you did it great the first time, so no
That's great.
problem. We're gonna dive right into everything.
Perfect.
And I'd like to meet you guys a bit more, get to know you. So, one by one, could you introduce yourself using only 3 words? I'll start with you, Ashley.
Ooh, 3 words. I would say energetic, creative, and passionate.
Oh, I love
Ooh.
that.
Okay. I would say loving, messy, and extroverted.
Ooh, very interesting. Okay, and you are here, of course, for the musical to fight cancer. I would like to know what your exact role was in the whole process. I already kind of introduced it in my intro. Let's see, Sarah, what was your role?
I was one of the dancers, and we were like butterflies in like the woods and stuff. And I mostly just danced with my group, which was really fun.
That's really fun. I love that. And are you also a student at the NJMT?
Yeah.
Amazing. And you, Ashley?
Yeah, I'm the choreographer and kind of the director of the show, because I'm the sort of dance coordinator and I run the dance academy. And the academy students are what put the show on every year. And yeah, so this was our 5th year, and we're going into our 6th season, at least with this show next year. So we're quite,
Amazing.
happy with how it's been going.
I can imagine. That's so cool. I love that. And just as a little spoiler, what were the like what kind of money did you make this year?
Almost 20,000.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, every
Wow.
year it just like keeps going up because more people are getting involved and more people are learning about it, and so it's just been really fun to see. And the students also they all get involved in making their own action page, and so then they go around and and try to get people to sponsor them and that kind of stuff. So every year it's becoming like a bigger thing, and everyone's taking it quite seriously, and that's really fun to watch.
Ugh, I love that so much, and it's such a beautiful way to combine the things that you're very passionate about with making real impact for something that you care about. Speaking of things we care about, it's of course something that's not necessarily, well, a happy story. Sarah, could you tell me why you decided to join this initiative?
I decided to join this initiative because, okay, so how I see it is that there's probably a girl like across the world who's just like me, has the same passions, has the same work ethic, has the same love for her friends and family and stuff, but she just has less chances because of a sickness that she can't do anything about, which isn't fair. And I find it really beautiful that we get to work together in a way that I love doing to bring up money and to try to help a girl just like me.
Ugh, I love that so much. That's beautiful. What about you, Ashley?
I lost my sister to cancer, so that's kind of how this kind of the initiative kind of came about. While when my sister was battling cancer, one of my students at the time, she was very young, and her father was battling cancer. And so we kind of, had a bit of a connection there with, a kind of a traumatic experience. And this student of mine was at the time on a tour. And she came up with the initiative originally to, she asked all the people she was touring with to kind of donate their time to do an extra concert. It was in Amstelveen at the time, and they put on an extra show with the idea to benefit cancer research. And so she kind of started that, and I, thought it was such a beautiful thing, and chatted with her a lot about it. And I said, hey, I would love to continue this initiative and make it actually a yearly thing. And so that's how it kind of got started. And once you experience something like that, and you experience someone going through cancer, you realize actually how much really affects a lot of people around you.
Yeah.
And when you start to talk about it, you realize so many more of my students were dealing with it as well. And we've had kids who have lost their parents or other loved ones or friends, during the year. And so it's just something that I feel like I need to do it for myself as well, to kind of feel like I can make an impact. But I always want it to be, a collective thing. There's somebody else, if they're going through that situation, they
Yeah.
feel like, hey, I can't fix this sickness. I can't do it myself, but I can at least raise money, get it into the hands of the doctors and the researchers that hopefully can make a difference. And it's just so beautiful to see.
Yeah, and I love seeing that young people are actually the core of this whole
Mhm.
initiative. I love seeing on your page you have all these people telling their story and
Yeah.
their reasons why they are joining this. And it means so much to me. I okay, so I'm gonna share a little as well. This year I was interning at a school because I'm
Mhm.
studying to become a teacher. And I heard during our first meeting as teachers that one of the students was struggling with cancer, like
Oh.
herself. So some
Mm.
of our colleagues were very emotional about
Yeah.
this, and I actually met the girl herself. And well, we lost her this year,
Oh.
which is very hard.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
That's tough.
then, like, closely after we heard that news, I saw this initiative as
Oh,
like
wow.
part of the cast for Sneeuwwitje.
Mhm.
And it meant so much for me, and it means so much to me that you guys are doing this, and that
Yeah.
young people are standing up for other young people and people that they are close to. So, like, thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I think more people think that way as well.
Yeah, it does. It's a story that unfortunately you hear too many of these stories. That's what it is, and it's so sad that people have to go through that.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna get out of this sad zone for a bit. I am very curious. Let's see, Sarah, as a performer, you often have to
Yeah.
step into someone else's shoes, of course.
Yeah.
How do you try and stay connected to yourself in that whole process?
What I like about when I'm performing and I step into somebody else's character, I like the fact that I get to put my own twist on it, so that even if somebody else is playing the same role as me, same role as me, Dutch and English are switching in my head. Um, when somebody's playing the same role as me, they do it the same, but it's not the same as mine because I put my personal twist on it. So whether I'm a background dancer as a tree or lead role, nobody can play the same role because I put my personal twist on it.
I love that. And could you tell us what that personal twist of yours exactly is?
I think that's my so when I'm on stage, I really like to just entertain people and show them that I'm passionate about what I'm doing. So it doesn't really matter what I'm doing, I'm always passionate about it. And I think you can see that on my face with my facial expressions a lot. And I don't think that that's very easy to copy.
I agree.
True. That's
I
true.
feel the same way.
Yeah, you always do have very good facials. She uses her eyes a lot. She might not realize
Ooh.
that, but she does use her eyes a lot, and how she connects like really with people in the audience. I always like that about how Sarah dances.
I
Oh, I
literally
love
need to
that. Very smooth indeed.
Yeah.
And Ashley, as someone who helps shape the whole performance, how do you make sure that you put your own personality and your own twist in your work?
Oh yeah, you know, I think my students will say that there's like some very like I do everything fast. And I can very much appreciate very slow moving beautiful things, and I will have a beautiful slow something in there, but I really like roller coasters in shows. So I want to have the big speedy moments going down and the curves and the twists, and I don't like to sit still very long in something. So when I'm creating shows, and I think when I'm creating choreography, my students know, like, okay, we're not, you know, we have to stay on top of it because it's not going to stop. It's just going to go, and we're going to take the, you know, the audience on some crazy journey, and just throw so much at them and give them a lot of, you know, a lot of things to think about and see. I'm a very visual person as well, so I love working with visuals and formations. And just trying to find ways to use new and interesting ways to bring something across, like a tree. We had a whole scene 2 years ago with trees, apple trees, and you know, you could make that a very boring thing, but we were throwing apples and dancing with apple, and it just, you know, and the kids, it was funny to see because at first I was like, you guys are gonna be trees, apple trees, and they were kind of like,
Huh?
okay. It ended up being one of the most fun numbers, I think, in the whole show because they totally went wild with it, and it was so fun to see. So I think my sort of kind of creative, sort of weird ways to look at things does translate onto the stage, and I think the kids enjoy it because I let them kind of be really free a lot of times and things. I'm like, okay, this is the choreography, but now I want you to put your spin. What kind of tree are you? Or, I don't know, what kind of fish are you? You know, we had kids were
Mhm.
like fish, like, okay, are you the happy fish? Are you the sad fish? Are you the fish that's like always hungry? You know, and that gives them a chance to put their little personal spin on it, and that's always fun to watch.
I love that. That's so amazing. And I recognize it as well as a teacher. I try to
Yeah.
give my students little things as
Mhm.
well like that. Amazing. Okay,
Yeah.
so I also asked you guys to fill in my workbook. You worked
Mhm.
with that. I got
Yeah.
your answers.
Yeah.
I'd like to dive into your mirror sheets.
Yeah.
I saw both your answers and I was just curious. I already saw your answers, but the people watching, of course, didn't.
Yeah.
If you could choose one thing that you wish people would understand about you when they see you dancing or they see one of your shows, what would that specifically be? And I'll give you a little time to think about it.
Yeah.
One
I
thing.
think I know, but do you know, Sarah? You can go first if you already know.
I'm contemplating. Can you go first?
I'll go first. Yeah, I think, well, because I wrote it down in my thing in my mirror. There's a movie that my kids love to watch, and it's my new favorite Christmas movie called Claus. And
Ooh.
in it, they talk about there's a quote. It's a simple act of kindness always sparks another. And the whole story kind of goes about that, how, like, you know, if you do something nice to somebody out of kindness and love and respect, there's a good chance that they will then do that to someone else, and that person will do it, and you will spark this kind of a snowball effect. And I hope that, like, when people see musical to fight cancer, that they're inspired to go out and find their way to change the world. Because if I do this with these kids every year for the who knows, maybe we get to do this for another 10 years, you know, that'd be amazing. And all the kids that you have that are a part of it, even if, like, you know, 10% of them later go on to do something out of their own initiative, that's a huge change. And it's not just what the show has done, but it takes it to the next level and to new people and maybe across countries and continents, eventually. And I think that is what I hope that people get out of it and will know about me. That's my passion, is to teach people to love people and to be kind and share that and, you know, send it forward. So I think that's my big thing, I would say.
That's beautiful. And that's exactly what my platform is about as well. So I couldn't
Exactly.
agree
Yeah.
more.
I was gonna say, when I saw, you know, that you were doing this, I was like, this works so perfectly. This is exactly, because it's exactly what you said. You have this vision to find people's passions and then steer that into a way that changes the world. And I mean, that's how we change the world. And I think it's beautiful.
Beautiful. And what about you, Sarah?
I think what I want to show is everybody is that wherever we go, we can always spread love, and that love is something that we pretty much find love in everything. We find love in our friendships, in our family, in our relationships, in how we dance, in our work, in everything. And I think if we all show love to if we all give love and receive love, we can contribute together to like a future where we all feel more loved, more worthy, more confident, and yeah.
I
That's
love that.
beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah,
girl.
and I again fully agree with you. You are so right, and thank you so much for sharing that. I hope you had fun with the workbook as well, by the way.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, it was fun to go through all the questions and really think about things because sometimes you do things and
Yeah.
it's out of your heart and your passion, and then to have it kind of written out in front of you, you're like, oh yeah, that does make more sense as to why I think that way or
Yeah,
why I'm doing this. Yeah,
it was a nice reflection moment to like kind of think, oh wait, yeah, that
yeah,
makes sense.
yeah,
Oh, that means
exactly.
a lot.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
definitely.
Well, we're gonna go right into the next segment. It's called Your Puzzle, Your Purpose Puzzle.
Yeah,
And it's all about what you do and why you do this. So, with the first question, I'd like to ask you right away, if you could share, like what. Give me 1 second because I think I already asked this, by the way. Mm, yeah, I did already ask this. Okay, we're gonna ask a different question then.
no problem.
Uh, Ashley,
Yeah,
um, what's it like to lead and guide such a big group of young performers who are all different,
yeah.
and unite them with one specific cause?
Yeah, that's one thing that I a lot of times do talk about when we discuss like, okay, this is this is the show we're doing. Obviously now the show's been, it's gone through 5 seasons, so it's not new anymore. Everyone kind of knows it's coming, they expect it's coming. But it is something I talk about. I said, this is my small thing that I can do. But there are so many other causes. And I must say at NJMT, at the musical theater school, we do try to do a lot of different things like that. I know, with the tours, my colleague Elisa always tries to find also something, a way to like either sell the cast album or something. I know a couple years ago during COVID when things were really rough, we did everything when people would buy the cast album, that money went to the food bank. And so I think at our school in general, we try to be very open about using our talents to do something, and it doesn't always have to be the same thing. We unite under this, and it is fun to talk to the kids about, maybe you don't know anybody immediately that has impacted cancer, but let's like talk as a group and share here for a minute. And then all of a sudden they realize, oh wow, I knew somebody and I knew somebody. And it might not be a close relative, family member or something, but my best friend's brother's family or whatever, anyway, there's, all of a sudden they kind of realize, oh, this does affect more people. And then some people really are affected by it and you had no idea. I
Mm-hmm.
remember the girl 2 years ago that had the lead when we did the Wizard of Oz. Her father was diagnosed with cancer and she hadn't really told anybody about it. And then eventually she got to the point where she's like, I really wanted to do this for him and he was okay. And he was, the medicine worked and everything. And so he's fine now. But she said for a while, I just didn't really want to talk about it because it felt, very personal. But then having this kind of a space and setting to kind of open up about it made it for her also easier. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think it's hard sometimes to get that many kids. We usually have about 75 kids that participate. But it does become somehow there's some kind of magic involved. I truly believe in when you're doing something for other people, the connection just comes faster and easier because
Yeah.
you have this common goal. And so I really do think that I don't even have to do a whole lot. I think it comes from the kids, I give them the platform and then they run with it. And I think that's really neat to see.
Ah, that's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that and also for keeping on doing this because I'm sure that it's not always easy to like find the motivation, find the strength. So like keeping on doing that means a
Yeah,
lot and I'm pretty sure
definitely.
that all your students would agree with me on that.
They do love the
Um,
show. It's fun to see.
I agree.
I can imagine. And Sarah, how does it feel to like perform in such a specific kind of show in comparison to a regular musical or a regular dance rehearsal or anything like that?
It makes it much more, it affects me much more. So like for example, when we're like in a group and talking about and sharing our experiences, like it's one thing to think about it, but it's much hard to realize that for some people it's really their reality. Like I could
Hmm.
never imagine like losing somebody to cancer just because I haven't been in that situation before. But
Yeah.
hearing like how hard it is and how how devastating, how heartbreaking, and like I just can't fully grasp like how that must feel for somebody. So to be able to put in like my small part to like a big group and doing it like as a family, because like through the process we kind of become like one family trying to help other people, which is really pretty.
Mhm. Yeah.
And it just makes you feel much more connected to the people that you're performing to and to each other on stage.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. I love that.
Yeah. And that is
That
true.
makes
Like
it.
you have moments where like a kid will just start to cry and the rest of
Yeah.
the kids will just like whew, come around them and, pick them up and be like, we got you. We got you. Tell us what's going on. And I think that's so beautiful to see because that you don't see that a lot in middle schools and high schools these days. There's so much competition and there's who's better than who and who has this and that. And it's so beautiful to see that's taken out. Go, Sarah.
Yeah, what I love about NJMT, one thing is that we feel like a family. Like nobody feels excluded. Like at school, you have like a lot of like different cliques, but like we're all very different, but we all have like one passion in common that kind of connects us, which it makes it's always safe to go there. Like I'm never like stressed when I go there. I never leave stressed. I always leave with a smile, and it's just a very nice place to be.
Wow, that's
I
great.
definitely recognize that as well. I'm not even a student at the NJMT. I only did one tour, and every time I was there for rehearsals or every time I didn't feel like going to a show or anything like that. Everyone just lifts each other up, and it feels
Hmm.
really
Yeah.
nice. It's really nice to have that as well, and I think it means so much that you share that with the world through the tours, through the musical to fight cancer.
Yeah,
It's really a beautiful initiative. It
thanks.
really is.
Yeah, thanks. We will keep it going because
You
as long
should.
as I'm around, I'll do my best to keep it going.
Okay, we're gonna dive into the third section,
Mhm.
which is voices in action.
Mhm.
I would like to know what kind of reactions you've received from audiences or families, or maybe even the doctors that you've donated to. I'm just very curious how the audience reacts to this.
I mean, everybody's always so positive and enthusiastic. And I mean, I've had parents come up and just say, I'm so thankful that you guys do this because it shows my kid that they can actually make an impact in the world. Um, and I mean, it was really neat. A couple years ago, one of the doctors that we donated to, he was working on some pediatric cancer research, and he was able to come to one of the shows with his own kids and also share. And he said too that the fact that so many young people were doing this, a lot of people that are doing, raising money for things and doing benefits are, adults. And so he said to see that this is purely, students and young people. I mean, as young as 8 or 9 years old, sometimes in the show. He said it makes an impact. It gives you also hope for the next generation, that there are wonderful young people that are coming up and you can pass the torch on to them and they're just gonna like run with it. And sometimes it is hard with everything that's going on in the world today. Sometimes it's hard to be hopeful. But when you see this, yeah, the reactions are just always so positive. And not even so much about the show itself, but just about the initiative and what it stands for.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's beautiful that doctors can also bring their own kids to
Yeah,
there, and
definitely.
it also shows the pieces of our identity. Like I'm bringing it
Hmm.
back to my workbook.
Yep.
Everyone is more than just one thing. So yeah, a
Yeah.
doctor could be a parent too, or maybe
Yep.
have a sick child too, or anything like
Yep.
that. So it's beautiful that you can show them in a show like this. And
Absolutely.
then Sarah, I'd like to know how like if you have one specific moment or a specific emotional memory during this year's process, sorry, whether it was in rehearsals or on stage. What's one thing that you will never forget from this year's show?
I will never forget being in rehearsal with all my friends and like really close friends now just because we're always together. like seeing everybody share their experiences and just being at such a vulnerable point, but being able to do it together is just kind of a core memory now, because now you also feel safe knowing that other people know things about you, but you also know a lot about them, and it kind of creates a connection. So whenever like I see them, I feel very safe around them. I feel very safe with my group. I feel very safe with Ashley, and it just
Oh,
created a core memory for me.
oh, that's
Right.
amazing. Now
Yeah.
I'm curious, Ashley, knowing that she's your student, how is it to hear that from your student?
I tell my students all the time, if you've been in my class, even if it's just for a year, like you become one of my kids, I have two of my own children physically born from me, kids, but I have hundreds now of other kids. And it is so wonderful to see when they graduate and they all go off and do their own amazing, beautiful things. And then they come back and, they know that they always have a home at NJMT and they can always come back if they need anything, if they just need to talk or, I hope that I can continue to make that it can continue to be a safe place. And, you are working with teenagers and young adults and they all have all their own problems and issues that comes with being a young adult in today's world, especially with social media, and the comparisons to each other. And it's not always easy. It's not always just perfect roses. And you've got kids that have history and background and baggage. And I try to just make sure that they know they always have a safe space with me, that there is no judgment, that they can come to me with anything and everything, and I will not react crazy. I will listen to them and try to give them the best advice that I can give, and just hope that they always feel that way. So that's part of my passion as well, is just being a safe space for teens and young adults.
Yeah, and if I hear Sarah talking, I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
that you are doing that.
we love Sarah.
Amazing. Now, I have one more question
Okay.
for Sarah this time.
Oh, okay.
As a young person yourself, how would
Mhm.
you like to show or tell people that young people can indeed make a difference through their arts or through their passions?
I think it doesn't matter what age you are to make a difference. Because if I'm passionate about something and I can spread that around, I don't really care about my age. I could be 7 years old or I could be 25. But if I'm passionate about something and with people around me who are also passionate, I believe I can make a difference.
Amen to that.
Beautiful. Yes,
I fully
absolutely.
agree with you.
Yeah.
Yes, amazing. I also asked you guys to prepare a mini piece mission or a mini piece challenge. For the people who are new here, this is our guest's way to give you guys a little piece of advice or a little thing to try this week. So, could you guys tell me what your mini piece challenge for this week is?
Yeah, I know my mini challenge would be um to look around just for 1 week, look around at all the people that are in your life and try to see if there's anyone in your life that's maybe going through something difficult. It doesn't have to be cancer, for example, but it could be something else. It could be even something as little and silly as, someone made a really nasty comment on something on social media, and thinking, what can I do to lift that person up this week? Is it just sending them an extra text message of, hey, thinking about you. I know you're going through something rough or whatever. I just want to know you're great. You're doing great. Keep your head up, that kind of stuff. I think just finding something little. And then I have kind of a second advice as well. If you happen to be a dancer or a performer or a musician, and this goes beyond just maybe this week, but thinking about, hey, how is there anything I could do to use my talents? And, I always say you're, kind of God-given talent that is in you and lives in you. What can you do to give back to the community? And maybe that's, sitting outside in a park, playing your guitar for people and just bringing them some joy. Maybe it's, going and talking to your own dance instructor and saying, hey, is there any way we could, I don't know, bring in canned food at the next performance we're doing, and then donate that to the food bank. Can we think of something easy to do that we can ask our audience? They don't have to. It doesn't even have to be a lot of money wise. Bringing in some noodles and we can drop that off at the food bank. Thinking of creative ways like that. You don't even have to necessarily act on it today, but if you get the juices flowing, maybe it'll come up with some really cool ideas.
Amazing. I love that. Very in line with Piece by Piece for sure. Amazing. What about you, Sarah?
My mini challenge is to look around at the people that you love and care about and find a way to compliment them in a unique way. So, for example, write them a letter about a gratitude letter, get them flowers, let's go out, let's go on a date on me.
Love
Something
that.
unique and something to just make someone's day just a little bit better.
I love that.
Amazing. I love that. I'm definitely gonna try that one myself. I
Great.
think I'm thinking of some people already. Amazing. Well, then I'd like to thank you both so much for your time.
Thank you.
We're
Thank you.
already at the end of the episode. For everyone listening, where can we find you? Where can we find tickets for the next show?
Yeah, the next show is the 19th of April next year, so we do have some time. Our theme this year, the second act is going to be Tarzan, so it's going to be real fun. I'm super excited. Already in the creative process right now, thinking how I'm going to make that come to life on stage. I'm super excited about it. But if you go to the Nationaal Jeugd Musical Theater School website, there is information. The tickets won't be for sale yet, but you can keep an eye on it. Also, Sarah's using our Instagram account right now, and so you can follow that account because there we post a lot of updates and also when tickets go on sale. There's also an email address if you think, hey, like I would love to get involved in any way to help out with things, costumes. I don't know. If you have a great idea, come to me. I'm always up for new ideas and for
Amazing.
people who would like to be involved. That you can always reach out to us that way or on my own accounts that I'm using right now as well. So yeah.
Amazing. Well, I'll definitely link things below as well because I will indeed also post this on YouTube and on Spotify. So if you just drop
Perfect.
by and you still want to see everything, don't worry. It's going to be on Spotify and on YouTube. So
Awesome.
you didn't have to miss anything. And to you both, thank you again. And until
Thank
next
you.
time.
Until
Thank
next
you so
time.
much. Keep this up because it's so fun to see all the
Yeah.
initiatives from people. I love it. So
Thank
excited to
you.
see what more comes on.
Amazing. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.